Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about workplace wellness. What exactly is workplace wellness? Workplace wellness refers to the programs and policies that are typically implemented in the workplace that promote the physical and mental well-being of the employees. Yeah, why do we need workplace wellness? Yeah, workplace wellness definitely matters because it promotes the physical and mental well-being of the employees and ultimately benefit because of improved productivity, reduced absenteeism, and improved efficiency in the workplace. Now let's discuss what this wellness usually means. So wellness is comprised of two parts or two aspects, which is physical health and second is mental health. If we talk in simple terms, and if we take about if we talk about physical health, so physical health includes activities like eating healthy food, or eating healthy food, going to gym every day, and staying and having good sleep. So these are typically these are typically used for these are the typical aspects of physical health. And companies can promote these using different so many companies support these physical health by implementing exercise programs or subsidized gym memberships. So essentially, if companies provide subsidized gym memberships, people can go to gym and engage in physical activity, which helps them in to be in good shape, and thereby contributing to the company. Some of the companies also introduce these options like nutritious cafeteria, which with options which cater to nutritious food. So essentially, this allows employees to go and eat to get access to this allows employees to get access to healthy food, which help in maintaining the good physical health. Additionally, companies also provide health screenings so that they can prevent any potential larger issues. For example, companies regularly conduct these eye tests or these dental exams on site so that they're more accessible, and also it is very encouraging for employees to go and engage in physical activity, right? Engage in all these preventative cares. Another so other thing that companies typically do for promoting this physical health is ergonomic workspaces. So what exactly is ergonomic workspaces? So if there are no ergonomic workspace, so ergonomic workspace is having or providing equipment that that doesn't impact the health of the employees. Typically, if you take workplace, especially for software or corporate jobs, employees has to sit at the desk almost like 5 to 6 hours, and they have to work. They have to sit in front of the laptop and they have to keep working. However, prolonged periods of sitting lead to health issues such as obesity or continued exposure to the screens may lead to eye diseases. There are some common diseases that we typically see, like having back pain, eye strain, and some body pains. So these are typically caused by the equipment or bad posture or bad seating positions. So there are some tools or there are some ergonomic setups like sit stand desk, adjustable chairs, which help in maintaining good posture so that we can potentially prevent all the issues that I mentioned before. Because most of the issues like back pain, eye strain, and body pains, they're prevalent in workplace settings. So having these ergonomic workspace can help can help in minimizing the risk that is associated with this workplace equipment. Yeah, so there are many benefits of workplace wellness. So the first thing is higher energy and better focus. So by having good physical health, employees can focus more and have very good energy levels, which allows them to do more work and be more productive. It also allows them to be innovative and creative in creating solutions, so that ultimately it ultimately benefits the company and leads to company growth. And it also moreover employees also can have reduced absenteeism, which allows them to focus on the moment or the project, and successfully complete the project. Yeah, this ergonomic workspace also help in preventing common issues like preventing back pain and eye strain. It also helps in improving comfort and efficiency. Moreover, it supports long-term employee health. So these are some of the advantages of good physical health. Now let's talk about mental health support. So another aspect of workplace wellness is mental health. So what exactly is mental health? So mental health means having healthy brain and mind, so that we can focus more on the job at hand and can contribute to the growth of the company. So typically, with this fast-paced work environment, we are typically seeing mental health issues like stress, anxiety, and depression being common nowadays. And this is not only impacting this is not only impacting the regular life of the employees, but also it also causes some issues on the professional level. So essentially, companies promote mental well-being through various paths. So the first thing is some companies provide access to counseling services, and so that employees can get access to healthcare professionals to discuss their situation and get help. Additionally, some companies also provide stress management workshops, so that people or employees manage stress and be more productive in the workplace. Another important aspect of workplace wellness is providing a good work-life balance. So work-life balance refers to the balance that we need for related to work and personal life. So essentially, workplace wellness essentially means preventing working too much and straining ourselves, because which may lead to a lot of other issues, which may lead to burnout and impacts our life. So you should always try to prevent stress by talking to managers, or using different ways in which we can express our workload. Companies should also create an environment where they have to provide a good workplace. Uh, they should also, I think, companies also should provide good work culture, so that it fosters the employee. So that it fosters employees and help in their growth. So work-life balance can be achieved through flexible work hours. Companies should provide flexible work hours, so that employees can have flexibility in terms of going for appointments or addressing any need at home, or addressing any emergencies related to kids. If the company is not flexible and if it is being strict, then it may impact the employee, because we employees typically have family, and they need to balance both these with this profession. So if they are flexible, it gives them some leeway to go in office hours, and address appointments, so that they can come back and work and resume work in the night. And the next thing that we can do for work life balance is remote work options. Yeah, so companies should provide remote work to the employees, so that they can reduce the so that it reduces the commute time, and enables them to work more. And the next thing is reduced burnout. Work life balance also leads to reduced burnout and higher retention. So employees who have good work-life balance can employees who have good work-life balance doesn't look at the so doesn't will be more satisfied, which ultimately leads to retention, because they don't look for employment elsewhere if company can provide a good culture and good work-life balance. And next important aspect of workplace wellness is positive work culture. Companies should provide companies typically provide positive work culture through open communication, which means employees can speak up and give their opinions, and they're being heard, so that they feel that they're given importance in the workplace. And workplace positive work culture is also implemented using recognition and appreciation. Companies should recognize and reward employees based on their achievements, so that it creates some enthusiasm and encouragement for the employees to seek new projects and create new innovations, so that it can benefit not only the company but also them, to but also them, so that they can thrive well. Inclusive and supportive environment. A company should provide inclusive and supportive environment. They should also look after the employees, and managers should ensure that their employees are satisfied in the work in their projects, and they're not working too hard to and that they're not working too hard and leading to burnout. So these significantly benefit the overall. So these have a lot of benefits on the organization. So first thing is higher productivity. Having good physical and employees who have good physical and mental health uh, can um, can contribute to can exhibit higher productivity by finishing more tasks in less amount of time. The second benefit that organizations have is lower healthcare costs. In the long run, because companies provide health insurance, and if the health is not good, then they may have to go through big surgeries, which ultimately costs the company. Company has to pay the costs, which company have to bear the costs for all the surgeries, which is not going to potentially benefit the company. So by being proactive and encouraging the employees to have good work-life balance, and also good physical and mental health, companies are potentially reducing their costs in the long term, um, in terms of reduced surgery costs, or reduced major surgeries. Improved retention, obviously, that is major benefit of these workplace wellness. Companies who have good work-life balance, and have good workplace wellness options in place, have more retention. So, in conclusion, workplace wellness is essential, not optional for long term organizational success. Yeah, workplace wellness is essential and not optional for, yeah, it is essential and not optional for long term organizational success. Now, we are going to discuss how the life cycle of the project life cycle of a software project. So essentially, if we take a software project, so what we typically have is, so the first phase is requirement gathering. So what exactly is requirement gathering? Requirement gathering means going to the customer and collecting the requirements, or the project manager and collecting the requirements, so that we can implement, so that the software developers can implement. Essentially, that work is typically done by the BA or the business analyst. So he goes to the business analyst goes to the goes to the customer, who gives the requirements, like the marketing teams or the risk teams. He go and sit with them and irons out all the requirements, and he creates a Jira board. After that, he goes to the after that, he set up a meeting with the developer team. So essentially, if you take a typical software project, there'll be this project manager who go ahead and gets the requirements, and the next is there will be software engineers. So the team consists of wide range of talents, because everyone should collaborate and coordinate and come together for the to finish the project. So there'll be these project managers or business analysts who take care of the requirement and who create these requirements and the Jiras. And the next role is software developers. Software developers are the ones who architect the project and solve the problem using software. So they essentially code the solution and deploy it so that it is accessible to the customers. They have to ensure all the functional requirements are met. So essentially, all the requirements are given by the PM. They try to create solutions or software which fulfills all the requirements. In addition to that, they there is another aspect like non-functional requirement. Non-functional requirement means um, be means maintaining the system in a healthy manner, so that the system stays reliable and scalability, reliability, and availability. So all these come into picture when it comes to non-functional requirements. So these are not the functional requirements, but these ensure that the system is reliable and available to the customers all the time, so that they can use the website, and so that they can use the website and do their tasks. If, for example, if it is like a banking website, they can go ahead and access all the features. If they have account with the bank, like Capital One Bank. So what we typically do is, if you open a credit card, we need to get access to how much balance we have, or how to or making payment, the balance or offers, and the statements and the transactions that we make. So I need a place where I can see all these as a customer. From a customer viewpoint, they need to be able to get all the insights about his account. And this software solution or the software team create the solution or create an app and a website, so that so that the customers can access all the information about their documents. So essentially, there's a project manager. There's the next role is software developers who implement solutions and make the software accessible to all the customers. And the next team will be DevOps team, who takes the code and ensures that these that the solution is deployed in correct service, and also help in maintaining the reliability and availability of the system. And the next is production support team and DevOps team and SRE team. So SRE is very critical team, because they have to ensure that the system is running all the time. SRE stands for Site Reliability Engineer. So his main role is to ensure that the system is reliable almost all the time, and customers doesn't face any issues or disruptions when they are trying to access the website. If the system is down for like 5 minutes, for example, in credit card, for example, in companies like Credit One Bank or Capital One, so the system being up means they're getting more money because if you if you are using a credit card, you gotta pay the balance. So typically customers pay the balance so that they can maintain good credit score, so that they can maintain good credit score, and which helps them in making huge buys or getting more loan in the future, potentially in the future. So in those kind of systems which are critical, uh, the site needs to be up all the time. It needs to be up and running all the time. And for that, we need to, so all these teams like SRE, they ensure that the system is running up and running all the time, so that so that they can maintain high availability. So typically in software development, what we do, so what the steps are there is there'll be requirement gathering, which is typically done by the project manager. Next is there'll be this high-level design architecture. So there'll be an architect who takes all these requirements and creates the architecture by leveraging all the resources and knowledge that he has. So what he does is he takes care of all the requirement. No, he has all the requirements, and he typically have all the requirements. He typically takes all the requirements, and then he reviews all the technologies that is already existing, like the databases that are there in the system. For example, if there is a Postgres database, for example, he'll review all the databases that are available and that are being used in the company, like Postgres, Oracle, or SQL Server. Based on those, he'll be architecting the system so that the software developers or people below him can implement it. So he's a high level who has very good knowledge and perspective of the existing system, and he knows exactly how to architect the system so that they can he can he know how to exactly architect the system so that it will be efficient, and so that they can also accommodate future requests. So he ensured that the system is both scalable, extensible, and reliable. Extensibility in the sense that system can extend with minimal changes. System can have the ability to extend with minimal changes. And the next thing is yeah, and the next thing is once the architecture is made, then they'll come to each developer and what and then they create these requirements. They create these requirements and create the respective Jira boards. And the project manager, what he does is he assigns his stories to the developers, and what these developers do is so they create these low level designs, because once you have the low level design, what you gotta do is you just need to execute the code, you just need to implement that low level design. And this low level design encompasses aspects like class diagrams, sequence diagram, or yeah, mostly it's class diagram and sequence diagram, because if you can figure out all the classes, for example, if I'm designing a website like Uber, and if I take a simple requirement call, a person can go ahead and check for check for the face. So to check the fare, so if you want to know how much it is going to cost if we take the Uber ride, he needs to essentially go to the website, and he needs to have the ability, or the website should have the ability for the customer to enter the source and the destination address. And for the source, they need to grab the location of the user so that they can pre-populate the source, because in most of the cases, like 90% of the time, customer books from the location where he from the location where he where he existed or where he is. So essentially, um, to make it easy and seamless, to make the website easy and seamless, apps usually pre-populate the source with the current location and the destination. The next is the customer enters the destination, and he should be able to, when once he clicks submit, he should be able to see the fare. So to have this feature, so what the UI has to do is, so the person who is designing the, so the person who is designing the UI, so what he makes sure is, he makes sure that there is source box and there is destination. There is a place on the website which caters to the source, and then there is a place on other, there is a other box which has the destination. So basically, once we kept the source and the destination, next there'll be a submit button, and then the backend team, so the backend has to take all these requests like the source and destination, and then it needs to take other factors into also into consideration before showing the price. Yeah, it's not just about the distance. There are other factors that there are other factors which influence the price, including distance, peak traffic, type of the car, and another factors. So essentially, once they get all the other insights, all the other, so once they get all the other insights like the traffic and like the traffic or once they get the insights like the traffic and the search times and the search pricing, the algorithm will come up with the price so that it can show to the customer. So once the algorithm gets the price, it will be sent to the UI, and which will be shown on the UI. So essentially, this is one of the simple functional requirement of the Uber, and the project manager comes up with this requirement, and he gives the requirement to the team, and then there is one of the team member who gets assigned this ticket. So essentially, he takes a ticket, he does all the low-level design. After that, he presents that low-level design to the architect so that he can validate the model and find any obvious issues. Since these architects are highly experienced, they can quickly figure out any issues in terms of scalability or extensibility. So essentially, they once the low level design is approved, the the employee starts implementing the project. He'll be implementing the project. After that, he'll be doing all these once. So typically, companies or the employees use GitHub for maintaining the code, because typically, if there is a project, there'll be a lot of developers who will be working on the project. And to kind of enable all this communication, GitHub, there are tools like GitHub which enable collaboration and coordination. So essentially, if there is a latest code that was created, all these developers push the code into the GitHub, and and the colleagues or the other members of the team, they can pull the code so that they can have the latest code changes that the people are doing. So essentially, this is a very seamless way the, to maintain the collaboration and coordination. So GitHub is definitely a very good tool which developers use, and it is very prevalent in all the companies. And companies and people use it for maintaining the code. So once it is checked into the GitHub, once the code is checked into the GitHub, then this DevOps process happens. This DevOps process starts from the point the code is pushed to the GitHub. So essentially, the code is typically present in Git, and developer. So the responsibility of developer is to just push to the Git, and then the DevOps takes over. So essentially, there will be these things like CI/CD, continuous integration, and continuous deployment. Continuous integration means once you check out, or once you create the pull request and check in the code will be merged with the main code which is already working, and then this build process starts. So essentially, once the Git is in the GitHub says the CI/CD pipeline will start. So this pipeline or the workflow contains all the steps which will take you to the which will start from development to the deployment. So essentially, first it gets the code and it has to run the code and create this executable. So essentially, for creating the executable, so nowadays Docker is on the rise, and everyone are creating these containers because Docker is a very easy way in which we can Docker is a very easy way in which we can containerize and deploy the applications to any Kubernetes cluster. So essentially, it is like a package. It is like a package of the code along with all the dependencies, so that we can prevent any inconsistencies or discrepancies across environments. Yeah, traditionally, they used to have these issues where, yeah, traditionally they used to have this issue where the code is where there's a classic problem where the code works on your machine and doesn't work on my machine because of a lot of factors like dependencies, because all the dependencies and all the versions that my system is using is not present in the test server or in the server in which the QA is testing. So essentially, to prevent those kind of issues, we have Docker and Kubernetes, through which we can seamlessly deploy the applications. It also enables Kubernetes comes with a lot of features out of the box, including scalability, high availability, automatic scaling, and all these other things. So, so this is it about the Kubernetes, Docker and Kubernetes. So DevOps team ensures that the code that is checked in is integrated and deployed to the test server. And these automation or test engineers make sure that the code is tested before deploying to the production. So basically, there'll be code checking. Once the code checks in, once you check in the code, it will be deployed to test environment, and after that, once everything is fine and validated, then it moves to prod. And all these tools like Docker and Kubernetes makes it very seamless. And once the deployment is done, there'll be this production support team and SRS which take over the application. So essentially, their only job is to ensure that the production is up and running all the time, and that if there are any issues, they'll be opening a bridge, and that they'll try to quickly fix as soon as possible. If not, they'll be creating the bridge which helps them, which and they'll be adding all the relevant people to the bridge so that they can solve the problem in a collaborative environment. So this is it about the whole life cycle of the software development. So essentially, once a feature comes from the PM, there'll be the architect who architects the project or the feature, and then it will be implemented by the software developer who literally does the low level design and write the code. And once the code is written, it goes to the Git, in which the check-in happens, and then the CI/CD process kicks in, where they continuously push the code and integrate the code, and ultimately and eventually gets deployed to the production and being available to the user. Thank you all. Thank you for this. See you tomorrow.